Before beginning the review of WRC3, it is important to have a quick overview of the previous titles in the milestone WRC series to truly appreciate what WRC3 has to offer. WRC 2010 came as a surprise announcement from Milestone, the last WRC game at the time being World Rally Championship for the PSP in 2006, being a port of the PlayStation 2 title WRC Rally Evolved, released in 2005. When WRC 2010 was released onto the public, it was received with a mixed reception, the biggest criticism being the heavily dated graphics. However, what people could not deny was how well Milestone had treated the WRC license, adding all cars from the WRC classes as well as including every rally from the 2010 WRC calendar. As a bonus, the infamous Group B cars of the 1980s were also added, which was a nice touch, even if the Audi Quattro was missing. The game also featured an interesting career mode where you start off as a small-time rally team in two-wheel drive cars, working your way up through the car classes all the way to the officially licensed WRC teams. However, this is where career mode was presented with a problem, seeing as you spend about 95% of the career mode building up your team just to be forced to join an official WRC team, making all your hard work seem like a waste. Despite the weird layout of the career mode and the lackluster graphics, WRC 2010 is a perfect example of the line "graphics don't make the game." Because where the game lacked in graphics, it made it an addicting gameplay, having a complex physics system which took great practice to master. This task only being made more difficult by the option to adjust the setup of your car before each special stage. However, even the physics were presented with problems, as when it came to pulling off power slides or drifts, the game felt as if you were stuck on a rotating pivot. Despite this small niggle, online gameplay was majorly addicting as well as fun, allowing 16 players in the lobby to drive any car at any of the official special stages from the 2010 championship. All drivers pulled from the start line at the same time, each being represented by a ghost on the player's screen. However, some found this annoying. Thankfully, there was an option to turn the ghosts off. A very fun and addicting game, but plenty of room is there for improvement. The game also had competition to beat, the Dirt franchise being only a 2-game series at the time. Dirt 2 featured much more modern graphics as well as a big variety of game modes to choose from. However, people saw this as a bad thing, as Dirt 2's rally was pretty much made to take the backseat, only making up a very small percentage of the game with very short stages to race on. Nobody here was arguing that WRC 2010 clearly had the better stages, as they presented the bigger challenge and were much longer.
Right 6, into jump. 200, left 2, into right 2. I feel you can do a lot better than this.
A year later, WRC 2 was released. This time fans were waiting with anticipation. They had gotten the word out of exactly what they liked and didn't like with the previous title. However, when WRC 2 was released, we were met with another disappointment. The game was a massive step up from the previous incarnation, this time featuring much cleaner menus and slightly improved graphics. Once again, Milestone treated the WRC license correctly, including every car and every rally from the 2011 calendar. Whilst the graphics were slightly improved this time, it was ruined by an awful display filter constantly stuck on during gameplay. A decision considered so bad by some that a mod was released for the PC version to switch off the display filter. Sadly for the console players, they were stuck with a display filter. The physics model was also reworked heavily, still being hard to master. This time drifting and power sliding felt more like a car and not being stuck on a rotating pivot.
Left 4, cut, into right 3, through gate, don't cut. Left 4.
As a bonus, the Group B cars made their return, as well as a new class, WRC Safari. This being a collection of 6 cars that were champions of the infamous Safari Rally of Africa, dubbed as being the world's toughest rally. The Audi Quattro was still missing from Group B, but the Safari class had no faults, with at the very least one of the cars being special enough to make the fans happy. So we had a great new class of cars to work with, an improved physics model, and things only continued to get better with the addition of the rewind system. Now a staple of modern racing games, rewind allows you with the push of a button to rewind time as far back as you want and continue racing from that point. An easy way for you to resolve a sticky situation without the need to restart the entire race. Milestone did thankfully manage to pull off the best rewind system seen in video games so far. Whilst it was not the first game to feature such a system, though Milestone did make the first game to feature it, being Squadra Corsa Alfa Romeo in 2005, it was the best rewind system. Grid, Dirt and Forza's rewind systems all had problems. Grid and Dirt, after selecting your continue point, flashed a few images on the screen of your selected moment, which was annoying, as all you wanted to do was get straight back to the action. It also didn't help that the default viewing mode for rewind was the replay camera. Forza, to date, is the worst game to pull off the rewind feature, as that system only offered you a few preset points you could continue your race from. The reason WRC2 had the best rewind system is because you still remained in the gameplay camera, but it also let you start from exactly where you wanted, and with a push of a button you were right back in the race. No delays at all. Of course this system could not be abused, as you were given only a certain amount of rewinds to use. Some people thought this was making the game too easy, however the option was there to turn off the rewind feature.
150 through water, key middle, slow.
Career mode was essentially the same as the previous game, this time featuring super special stages, where you face off one-on-one on a circuit track against another driver. Career mode still had the problem of forcing you to sign with an official WRC team. However, when beating the WRC Championship, there were 2 more seasons which allow you to race using Group B cars, the Safari cars, and the WRC cars which raced from 2008 till 2010. Basically, the WRC classic cars from WRC 2010. The biggest problem with WRC2 was an exploit the players eventually found, and this was the ability to take shortcuts. Now, whilst it was inevitable that glitches like this were going to be found by players, some of these cuts are just inexcusable. We're not talking about cutting out little tiny corners here and there, we're talking about cutting out entire sections of stages, such as hairpins. Heck, in one of the stages of Greece, there was even a cut where you could purposely drive off the edge of a cliff and then get respawned further ahead on the track. Needless to say, this did cause a massive stir in the community. Arguments would break out over people taking cuts. Now people did request Milestone to release a patch to fix these issues, however by this time Milestone were busy developing WRC3. The following clips will now show you some of the biggest cuts you could take in the game.
40 left 4, 40 right 3, junction right, handbrake, left 4, 100 on quick, left 4, left 6, 200, 100 down, hairpin left, in, hairpin 40, right 3. 2, in, hairpin left, handbrake, right chicane, right 4, left 2, tightens, 150, left 6, slow down, right 3, in, left 2, right 3, in, left 3, tightens, 200, slow down, hairpin right, 300, key middle, slow down, hairpin left 3, right 3, in, left 3, tightens, right 3, splash, tightens, hairpin left, 60, right 3, in, right 3, left 4, tightens.
WRC2 also had to compete with Dirt 3. Following the feedback from Dirt 2, Codemasters made Rally in the forefront of Dirt 3, making up a good chunk of the game. Rally offered a lot more stages and a lot more cars to play with compared to Dirt 2. However, again this is where WRC managed to beat Dirt, as Dirt 3 had extremely short stages, and again, only a small selection of stages at that. WRC still continued to offer lots of long length stages from the WRC rallies. Dirt 3 also had a tendency to trail off from rallying by adding other modes such as Gatecrasher and Gymkhana. The career mode of WRC2 stuck firmly to rallying, being all about racing from A to B in the quickest time possible. The career mode does drag on a little bit, adding no variety between races except for a change of car now and again. But this is a credit to the game, as it kept things simple and didn't keep changing them like Dirt 3 did. WRC 2 was an improvement over WRC 2010, but still, the fans are craving more from Milestone.
Hairpin left in right 2, low.
Please watch part 2 where we will begin our look at WRC 3.